welcome to the Wealth Twins Show. Today, on this episode, we are talking about passive income, specifically how much passive income is enough. So, with that, Nadia, I'm going to let you start off to answer that question.
Okay. So I think when I hear the question, how much passive income is enough? I think it all is determined by what you want that passive income for, right? So if you're thinking about, I want to make passive income, it's important for you to define a goal. Having enough passive income to retire early or just have a comfortable retirement is different from having enough passive income to maybe start working part time or maybe being able to cover some basic expenses or your kids' activities. So it's very important for you to think about, if I want passive income, what do I want it for? And then it makes it a lot easier for you to determine what strategy is going to help you get there. My main thing is, what do you want passive income? What do you want it for? And then work from there.
Nadia, I agree. I totally agree when it comes to goals because a lot of times people think they need a number, but it's pretty unclear unless you actually understand what your goals are. So then you can actually get what your number might be because it's totally different for a person that wants to reach financial independence, how much passive income they would need to pay all their bills. And especially if they're doing fire for the next 25 years, as opposed to someone who wants to take maybe a mini retirement when they're doing maybe 1, 2 years, maybe even 6 months. As long as you can pay your bills with that passive income number, that's what you need to know. So you have to have the goal first before you go into make passive income because you can make passive income even with the savings account, right? You're making passive income as long as your money is in the bank, you're making passive income. Maybe it's like 1%, maybe it's 4%, but that is passive income. But is that enough for you? I don't think that's enough for anybody. So you have to know what is the end goal? What is it that you really want to use that passive income for? And then you can see if it's enough.
So my thing is this, like when people think passive income, they think they need huge amounts of money. But like if you're gonna think about it and try to break it down into a manageable chunk, how would you calculate how much passive income you would need? Let's just say on the goal of maybe having an extra, I guess, $1,000 a year, or that might be even too low. But how would you calculate if you're looking at a particular goal and you wanted to get passive income?
I mean, the first thing I would do is like, why do you need income, right? You want to cover some expenses. So you should be asking yourself, what expenses do I want to cover? Do I want to cover my rent? Or do I want to cover my transportation? That's a quick way to understand how much money you're going to need to cover in terms of making passive income so you don't have to work for that money. And actually, I want to bring it back. Exactly what does passive income mean? It means money you're not really spending your time in terms of working hours to actually work for that money. Now, it doesn't actually mean not working at all. In some cases, it is the case that you can not work at all and still make money. But active income is the exact opposite of passive income. And active income is if you do not work, you don't make any money. Okay. So with that definition of passive income, the first thing you're gonna say, well, if I don't want to have to pay my car note with me working, what is another way for me to get that money up passively? Okay. So you first calculated what is it the number that you're trying to cover, right? If it's all your expense, or if it's just one expense. And then this is from a book called Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robbins and Joe Dominguez. I think that's their names, right? And they speak about something called the crossover point. And they mainly talk about it in terms of financial independence. So the way you calculate your crossover point is to add up all the expenses you have during the month, right? And you're going to come up with a number. That was going to be your monthly expenses. And when I say expenses, these are bills that you have to pay on a consistent basis. These are bills that recur maybe every month, every 3 months, but you know these bills that you have to pay, right? And you can add credit card debt into that as well. So you add up all those expenses that you have to pay, that you know you have to pay on a monthly basis. And then whenever you get enough money from passive income sources such as investments, that number, when you hit that number where your income from your investments are the same as the expenses that you have to pay, that is your crossover number. So that's one way you can do it.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you think about your crossover number, I think that's a more attainable number and a number that people can wrap their head around more than like a financial independence number. A financial independence number can be huge. It could be in the millions depending on what type of lifestyle you want, when you want to retire. It could be a huge number. But when you're looking at the crossover point, That's a much smaller number, and it gets your mind working on ideas that you can do in order to hit that number quickly. So I completely agree with that. Now, one of the things you brought up, passive income, how that is how you're making money without having to work for it. And I think what people misunderstand is that when it comes to passive income, it's going to require your time or your money up front in order to prime that pump to get that passive income moving, right?
Hmm.
Don't think because it's passive income, you don't have to do anything. In the beginning, you will either have to pay with your money or pay with your time. So I think that's a point of discussion that a lot of people leave out when it comes to passive income. It's not that easy to get it started, but once you get it started, then it has more of a probability of becoming passive.
So, what I was alluding to before, active and passive, they're on two sides of a spectrum, right? So, as you get towards passive, when you're active, and as the closer you get towards passive, the less work you have to do,
I
right?
agree.
So, you either, like Nadia said, you either use time or you use money. Now, on that scale of active to passive, there's a lot of things that you can do to get some passive income. So, like one thing, like I said before, your savings account. Once you put the money in, you're going to make passive income on a recurring basis, a very small amount. So, the more passive income you want, you're probably going to have to do more upfront costs or more upfront time than you would for very small amounts of passive income. But then once it gets started, then that's when the magic happens. So with that, I want to say there's three ways, main ways I would say that you can make passive income. One is through real estate investing, another would be through business, and then also with the stock market.
I agree.
Okay, I know there's a lot of people saying out there's no such thing as passive income. Every income has to be like there's always some type of working involved. But when it comes to the stock market, and I'm going to let Nadia go into it a little more, but that right there, I really believe is a passive income strategy right there.
Well, I guess when you're talking about the stock market, one of the ways that you can get passive income is by investing in dividends, right? Now, again, it requires your money up front in order to get that passive income. So you will invest, but you have to invest that money in any kind of security that will pay you a dividend. That could be a stock, that could be an index fund, that could be an ETF. That is how you make passive income in the market, right? So it's not going to take you a lot of time. You can start making that passive income immediately depending on when you buy it, but it does require you to invest some kind of money upfront in order to receive that passive income. But once
Hmm.
you do that and you have your strategy picked, it will continue to make passive income as long as you own that security.
Yep. Now, also, when it comes to real estate investing, right? The way you do real estate investing is not just buying a house and living in it. You're not going to
Yeah.
get passive income that way. What we're talking about when it comes to real estate investing is investing in somewhere where you either house hacking, which means you're living in a place and also renting out some space,
Yep.
or you're renting out a totally different property and collecting the rents. And the only way you can make passive income on that property is if your rents are more, or to be able to cover the expenses like the mortgage on that property. But once you're doing that and you're collecting enough rent on a property that is exceeding like the mortgage on that property, you are making passive income there. And you don't really have to do much but make sure that your tenants are happy, make sure that the house or the property is maintained and that you have things in working order. That is a way to make some passive income off of real estate investing.
Yeah, and now some people might say, "Oh, can you make passive income off of real estate investing through Airbnb?" I've done Airbnb in the past. I wouldn't consider it that passive, okay? There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of cleaning, there's a lot of management, there's a lot of making sure your bookings are correct. So I wouldn't consider that as passive as it would be if you bought like a multifamily property and you were able to start house hacking or you're able to start house hacking with any property you have.
Now, another way that I mentioned was with business. A lot of businesses, all of them, I would say, require your blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Yeah.
But there are some businesses that once you put into practice, it actually starts making you passive income by building out certain things that you can sell on a recurring basis that make you money while you sleep. So, for instance, making a digital product. If you have a digital product that you can sell, then it's online, you can actually sell that product all around the world 24 hours a day. And one of those places you can find is like Etsy. Perfect place where a lot of people are selling digital products that is making them once they put in that time and effort to actually create the product, once they sell it, all the income they're getting from it is basically passive income.
I agree. And if you're watching this video, you know most people who put videos on YouTube are making some sort of passive income. Like they put a
I
video
would say
up
very
there,
little.
it's very little, but you're putting work in order to create a video. You post that video, and then that video has the ability to start making you passive income. But like I said up front, it will either cost you time and money or time or money. Us putting YouTube videos up costs us time and money because we had to buy the equipment and everything, and we spend time making these videos for you guys. But we do make a little bit of passive income from YouTube paying for the views on the video. So there's multiple ways you can do it, but we're just giving you some kind of idea.
Yeah, so let's bring it back to the beginning. How much passive income is enough? So
Yep.
we told you, one, you have to figure out enough for what. You need to know why you're trying to make passive income and what is your goal, right?
Yep.
Because then that will help you decide what the number is. And also, how long do you need for your passive income to cover it, whatever you need,
It
right?
also
So,
determines what strategy you're going to use. Like if you just need a few $100 or maybe $100 a month, maybe putting up YouTube videos could work for you, right? But
yep,
if you need more than that, then it's a different strategy. Maybe you have to start looking at real estate or
yep.
investing in the stock market.
And then we decided to tell you when it came to what does it mean? How do you figure out how much passive income you need? You might want to look at a particular expense. And then if you want to go even higher than that for financial independence, you want to look at all your expenses and then calculate your crossover number, right? Which we showed you how to do that. And then the third way we talked about the three main ways that you can make passive income, which is the most legitimate ways, would be real estate investing, businesses, and also stock market investing. All right. And for us, and I would say, I would talk from Nadia and myself, we've done all three. And for us,
Yep.
probably the easiest one to actually start up and to get to scale quickly would be using the stock market to make passive income. Do you agree with that, Nadia?
Yeah, I would agree. And I would also add that investing in the stock market is probably the most sustainable out of all of them, and it has the lowest barrier to entry. Now, what do I mean by that? When it comes to investing in the stock market, it takes a lot less money to start investing in the stock market to make passive income than it would be if you wanted to start investing in real estate or you wanted to start investing in a business. So, if you want to start investing in the stock market, but you don't even know where to start, you should start with learning the terminology. And one of the best ways to do that is about downloading are 25 investment terms that every investor should know, especially beginners. These are 25 complex terms made simple. And this will start you on your journey to start investing in the stock market with confidence. Make sure you look for that in the description. The link is right there. And we hope to see you in the next video.
Yep. Until the next video, guys, if you like what we said today, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about. All right.